Yo, it's your man MAS, back with the final review of Frieren episodes 26 to 28, or just completion. All right, pretty much the exam arc is over. Apparently Frieren is not the only overpowered mage in existence there. There is another overly overpowered mage, and supposedly they don't mess with each other. All right, so that's funny in itself. And then Frieren is the age of human. Frieren is apparently top tier, but I felt the same way about Stark. Stark is also top tier for what he is, right? But Frieren is she just has that knack of finding talent, right? She has the dream team. In one of my prior videos, my argument was like, hey, which team is better? Frieren's old team that defeated the Demon King, or Frieren's new team that she's combining? I know Sinden's not in the party anymore, but I'm assuming at some point he comes back, right? But title of the video, just my overall reviews of Frieren, right? What do I grade this anime? Frieren, for me, it gets a or even like maybe an A+. Am I going to give it like a SS tier? No, unfortunately. But Frieren, if somebody had to argue, hey, what's the greatest anime of this decade, and somebody said Frieren, I can see that. I can't argue with that. Episodes 1 through completion were phenomenal. They were good. They were solid. Unfortunately, and the gripe that takes it back from like, all right, I can't make Frieren SS tier, is that there were slow episodes. And even the slow episodes weren't that bad, but they were enough to deduct points. That's how reality works, people, right? You get points deducted. I get points deducted. It is what it is. But Frieren overall is a solid anime. I think Frieren is better than Jujutsu Kaisen. I think Frieren is better than Solo Leveling. But even that's a tough debate, because I know Solo Leveling is just another essential like shonen clone in terms of like stuff, but in terms of like from the episodes that I've seen of Solo Leveling till completion, like a new season's coming out. What I'm seeing, like the characters are all involved. Like Solo Leveling is really, really good. So I put them on the same tier. That's me. All right, until more episodes come out and I see Solo Leveling and I see that their character development kind of takes a dip. I think that was an argument some people were making, that Frieren is just so much better than Solo Leveling, which I can't dispute that. I'm just saying, based upon the anime, for what I've seen, head for head, it's pretty even killed, with Frieren kind of like a little bit above Solo Leveling, because they just have way better character development. Like they touch on their character development a lot more than Solo Leveling. But Solo Leveling, that first season, they touched on the character. They touched on Sun, the agency. They don't touch on as many of the hunters, right? But like I feel like Solo Leveling, that first season, they did a good job of kind of touching on everything and touching on the characters, right? Not as much compared to Frieren, but I mean, I've said this in prior videos. I've heard like an Olympian say this, right? The key to being the best isn't, oh, you have to be good at everything, right? You don't have to be good at everything, but you can't be bad at nothing. All right? So with Solo Leveling, they're not good at everything compared to Frieren, but but Solo Leveling isn't really bad at anything. Like all the categories are not bad at least this first season. Maybe next season it'll be like that, but so Frieren is really good at almost everything, right? But Frieren is also not bad at anything, but you can't take that away from Solo Leveling, who's also not bad at everything. They're not good at everything. And then my argument for that is Jujutsu Kaisen, they're really bad at like the story. Like it's not that engaging for what I saw in the anime. Their action scenes, Jujutsu Kaisen excels with action, but then everything else is kind of mid. It's not bad, but it's mid, close to bad. And I feel like Solo Leveling is above average in everything for the most part. And then Frieren is not only above average, but excels at other things. Like Frieren just does really well. So for that, I give it like an A. I liked how the season ended. Everything was solid. Unfortunately, again, because of the slow episodes, I can't give it S tier. But if somebody had to recommend Frieren, or if I had to recommend Frieren to somebody, I was like, yo, this would be a good anime. And the thing that makes it stand out compared to other animes is that it's not a shonen, right? So we all know about shonens and people's attention span and all right, so it's very rare for an anime to not be a shonen and to be talked about as much as Frieren has been talked about. It's a statement to what they've accomplished, right? Solo Leveling is essentially in that category. You know, One Piece in that category, Naruto, Bleach, like these are animes that are essential shonens, and that's like the attention span. But Frieren, it's not as talked about as within like the casuals, right? So main like hardcore anime fans, I won't say hardcore anime fans, but like people who watch anime on a routine basis that isn't just shonen, they know about Frieren. But Frieren isn't to the level of like a One Piece, right? Just in terms of notoriety, but in terms of the content, I feel like it's just as good, right? So just keep that in mind in terms of like what Frieren is competing with. But then I've seen other arguments about the journey and it being great. Like, I mean, here's my thing. Like, it's still, if you see my first review of Frieren, another anime about nothing, it still is essentially about nothing. Like, the journey has no particular substance or like urgency to it, right? Kind of like Jobless Reincarnation, where it's like, all right, well, now his goal is to try to find people after that teleportation disaster, right? With Frieren, she's literally going on this journey to talk to her dead friend again in this place where you can do that. That's optional. It's not like the world is in crisis, right? But that, I can understand that's like a purpose in like people's desire to watch. Like, hey, like, yeah, I don't really need some kind of sense of urgency to watch a show. That's fine. But that's how I judge. It's like, hey, like, what is the purpose of this journey? Is the purpose something that needs to happen? Then yeah, it gets me engaged. I'm like, yo, like, Goku needs to save the world kind of thing, you know? Like, not like, oh yeah, Goku wants to see his friend, so Goku is going on this really, really dangerous journey just to see his friends. That sounds like some privileged stuff, but that's what Frieren is. Like, this journey is optional. It's not like she needs to go on this journey. She doesn't need to go on. Like, nothing will happen if Frieren decided, like, you know what, I don't want to go on this journey anymore. Like, nobody's dying. Like so again, even the journey itself, based upon the anime, it's not like that deep, in my opinion, right? It's definitely like a lot of backstory to like her previous party to her current party, but it's just not an urgent thing if we're being real with ourselves. But even that, I don't think really holds back the series. Again, the only thing that really holds back the series were the slow episodes, and even that wasn't bad, but the issue is there are other anime that do slow episodes and do it well to the point that it doesn't even come off like a slow episode. If you do want that, I can make a list for that in another video in terms of like top 10 animes or so that have no slow episodes. Nothing feels slow. Everything is like from beginning to end. Something that comes off my mind is like probably Death Note. Death Note didn't have any slow episodes. It was that much of a thriller where like from the beginning to the end, like your eyes are like glued, like, you know, what am I watching, right? No slow episodes in Death Note. Is Death Note the greatest anime of all time? No. Is it close? Yes. Is Frieren better? I think it's better. That's me personally. So that's in personal opinion, not objective. But Frieren is good. But if I had to recommend anybody watching the show, I would say please watch Frieren. You will be pleasantly surprised, all right? If you're just one of those shonen bros and you haven't heard of Frieren, I am telling you, watch Frieren. It will get you addicted right away. Probably by like episode, if you're like a big shonen fan, by episode maybe 5 or 6, when they kind of rescue the town for those demons, that's when the kind of shonen adrenaline kind of kicks in, that recipe kicks in, and from that point on, you'll get addicted. So if you can withstand maybe like 4 or 5 episodes, you'll love Frieren if you're just a hardcore shonen fan. All right, but Frieren episodes 1 even through 5 were really, really good. But I'm saying that because I've dealt with people who are like that. If your attention span isn't like, you know, you need to be engaged right away, then just stick it out until episode 5, and then Frieren will kick up. But for people who don't need that, Frieren is a masterpiece. if I had to be. It is. It's just not the greatest of all time, and it's not SS tier. That's the truth of the matter. But yeah, that's my review for Frieren. Can't wait till season 2 comes out to see the continuation of the journey. I am curious to see if Celine comes back for the dream team to kind of be back again. But yeah, I mean, that's the review. My name is MAS, content creator once again. If you enjoy my content, definitely like, comment, subscribe. But again, I am also a anime manga content creator, so link to my comic is also in the description. So if you're not a fan of my reviews, hopefully you'll be a fan of my actual comic. Read it, got some free comics on the site, hopefully you enjoy. But it's your man MAS, I'm out.